Hello, third grade. Mr. Lopazzo again, coming to you from my basement. And we're here for our second drawing. This week, we're going to be doing Pokemon from grades 3 through 6. So 3, 4, 5, and 6, we'll be doing a different Pokemon. So if you want to do another one after this one, 4th grade's doing Bellsprout. 5th grade's doing Psyduck. And 6th grade's going to be doing Pikachu. So if you want to try one of those, it doesn't matter if it's not your grade level. You can do whatever video is on there. Go for it. So you guys are going to be doing Togepi. Togepi is a spike ball Pokemon. And apparently, as you can see, he's a very happy Pokemon. It actually says that he is a happy Pokemon. Looks like a little guy coming out of an egg to me. So it looks like he's going to be a lot of fun to draw. So obviously you're going to need your piece of paper. You're going to need your pencil, and you're going to need your eraser. Okay? So I'm going to erase this. You get that stuff, and we'll get cooking. Okay. I want to thank all of you guys who sent me in your Patricks. The Patricks were amazing. They came out so good. I'm so glad you guys sent them to me. I want to make sure you send me this one too when you're done. Like checking them out, giving you some comments, some feedback. It's a lot of fun. Okay. Now, for this one, because he's kind of round, it doesn't really matter which way you turn your paper. You can have it horizontal or vertical. It's not really going to matter because he's about the same both ways. Now, first thing we're going to do is a very large shape. It's going to fill up most of your paper. It's going to be kind of like a little bit more than half of a circle. So we're going to try to make it as round as we can. You can even make it, use a tracer, a coffee can, or whatever. If you have a circle that's almost as big as your paper, like maybe just a couple inches from each side, you can do that. But if you're going to trace that half of a circle, you want to make sure you do it very lightly, because we're actually going to be erasing part of the circle just because we have things overlapping it. So the first thing you're going to do is very lightly, you're going to draw about a little bit more than half of a circle. We're going to leave the top open. Okay, so I'm going to start over on this side of my paper. And I'm going to go around. So I'm going to draw, it's a little bit more than half of a circle. And we'll try to make it as round as we can. If you're freehanding it, just do it lightly. You could do short, sketchy lines. That will help. And then you can just go back and erase the lines you don't like. It's kind of hard for me to do that with a dry erase marker. So nice and lightly draw a shape that's a little bit bigger than half of a circle. That would be about half, and you can see I kind of went up a little bit further on each side. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to put his feet on the bottom. It's actually very, very simple. They're just kind of like big ovals sticking out of each side of the bottom. So on one side, going to do a nice big oval like that. It's about a little bit, it's about 3/4 or a little bit more than half of the oval sticking out. And then over here, you're going to do another one on that side. And those are going to be his feet. We're going to put a little line right down the middle, kind of like a hoof. Okay? Remember, just like I told you the last time with your Patrick, feel free to pause or turn this off at any time so that you don't have to try to keep up with me, because I tend to go a little bit quicker just because I want to keep the videos as short as I can. Okay. Now, because he's kind of like this little character coming out of like a broken egg, I'm going to do the top of the egg. And it's really, really simple. It's just a bunch of little zigzags, kind of like what a top of a broken egg would look like. Right? Real simple. Kind of like somebody cracked an egg in half. Now his hands are really, really easy. They're almost as easy as the feet. They're kind of like triangles. The only difference is the bottom of them are round. So right here, right at the underneath the crack of my egg, I'm going to just do a curved line right on the inside of my egg. And then I'm going to draw kind of like a triangle shape. Kind of like that. Move that a little bit. And now we're going to erase the part of the egg that's going through the arm, because we want the arm to be over. His arm is on top of that egg. So we'll get rid of the egg that's inside that arm. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'll draw a little curved line. That's the widest part of the arm. And then I'm going to do the same thing. It's going to go out and then back, just like that. And then I will erase this part of the egg. So we've got 2 hands and 2 feet. Now right over here on this side, I'm gonna extend this line of the egg a little bit further. And then I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna extend this side just a little bit further. So there should be a little bit of the egg over top of the arms. Now his head's kind of a funny shape. It's kind of like 3 big triangles. There's a big triangle on the top, and then there's a triangle on each side, and we're going to try to keep it sort of round, almost like if the egg was going to keep going around, but of course it's 3 triangles. So what I'm going to do is right up here on the top, going to draw kind of a big triangle there. And then I'm going to have another triangle sticking out over there. And I'm going to do another big triangle over here. And you can see where these 2 triangles, they come right over and they connect right to the little pieces of the egg that we just added. So he's kind of got like these 3 triangles. I'm going to make this one a little bit pointier. That was a little bit too rounded, I think. So that's just going to go up. Kind of like that. You can overlap. I left it overlapped a little bit. That looks fine. Okay, so you can see it's like 3 big triangles sticking out of his head. His face isn't that hard, 2 eyes and a mouth. He doesn't have a nose. So right in the middle, just above the shell, right about here, I'm going to do his mouth. And all we're going to do is we're going to have a little line going across. And then underneath that is kind of like a big, long half of an oval. His mouth is open. He's happy. It's a happy Pokemon. And I'll put a little line in there just so you can see his tongue. And his eyes are not that bad. His eyes are pretty easy. They're both ovals. They're big, long, skinny ovals. So I'll put an oval right there on that side. And then over here, do it on that side. Try to make them the same. That one might be a little bit wide on that side. I'll make that a little thinner. Yeah, they look about the same. That looks good. Now, he has a pupil, right? Pretty big size pupil. But he has a very large white reflection in each eye, okay? So it's kind of like a big oval right there. So when you color it in, if you're going to color it, well, even whether it's pencil or you're going to be coloring it later, the little circle or the smaller oval is white, and then the second oval is black. That's his pupil. And then the color of his eye would be right up there. We'll talk about the colors in a second. And then he has a little line over on that side, and then a little line over on that side of the eye right there. And the only thing we have left to do is the patterns that he has on his shell. So what he has a series of triangles and squares. Right, so he has kind of like a big triangle right here, and then there's another one inside, like that. And then he has a triangle down here a little bit, like that. And then he's got a square over here, and then a square inside. They're kind of like little doubles. And then he has kind of like a little triangle over here. And then he has part of a square that's peeking out from around the other side of the shell like that. Okay? And if you want to just do a real simple background, I mean, we could just draw the ground on there. Okay? And that's Togepi. That's Togepi. Now let me show you what the colors look like. Of course, you can Google the colors on Togepi, and I will write the name of it. I had it before, but I erased it. It is T-O-G, and it's pronounced Togepi. Okay, and let me show you what the colors look like right here. Okay, you can see. So the shell is kind of like a whitish color. You can leave it white, or you could color it if you want. And then the squares are red inside these double lines. That's white on the inside. Then it's a red square, and then the outside's white. So that'll be red right in there. And then that little triangle right there is red, as you can see. And then the triangles are blue. So the inside of the triangle would be white, and then these double lines would be blue, and then the shell, of course, is white. His skin, I guess you'd call it skin, I don't really know, is yellow. Feet, hands, and head is yellow. And this is what I was talking about with the eyes. The pupil's white. I'm sorry, the reflection's white. The pupil's black, and then right underneath the rest of the eye would be kind of like a brownish color. I don't know if you can tell that because I've got light shining all over the place here. And then his tongue is pink, and in the inside of his mouth would be like a darker pink or even like a purplish color. So you could Google that if you want to see the colors, if you're going to color it in. And don't forget to send me your Pokemon, whether you do this one or you do one of the other ones. Definitely send it to me. And you're going to send it to... I'll just write it right across and that's okay. M, all lowercase, M, D-E-L, P-O-Z-Z-O, M Del Pazzo, at Germantown, CSD.org. So thank you for all your Patricks, and I can't wait to see your Pokemon, your Togepis. And if you do any other ones, send those too. Love to check them out. And I will see you guys. Hopefully I'm going to see you soon. But if not, I'll see you again right here in the basement. Me and my whiteboard. See you later, guys.